D-Lo Full for boxing. All right, y'all. So I want to talk about underappreciated or underrated boxer. Okay. According to ESPN, Fat Dan, Demetrius Andrade is his pick for the most underrated boxer in the sport of boxing. And this is what he had to say. He said, two-time junior middleweight world titleist and reigning middleweight title contender Demetrius Andrade is vastly underrated. He's an enormous talent and would be a nightmare for anyone in and around his division because he is a very smart fighter with superb defense and quickness. There's a reason why he's one of the most avoided fighters in the sport. None of his potential opponents will even say his name. Now, I think that's an exaggeration. But anyway, he said, which has led him to even say he will move up to super middleweight for a good fight. I believe he would do that. He also says that Canelo Alvarez could have sought a fight with Andrade for undisputed in the middleweight division, which he claimed was a goal of his, but never made any serious overtures to making a deal. Now that's true, and that's widely talked about on YouTube. Okay, he also says the other title contenders don't dare say Andrade's name either. Perhaps they have watched his recent fights and saw that even though he is not a devastating puncher and scores few knockdowns, he has scored scores few knockouts. He has scored plenty of knockdowns, can befuddle opponents, and rarely loses any rounds. Fighters know who represents a danger to them. That's why they avoid him. He's a high risk, low reward. Andrade is that guy. He just needs a big name to give him a chance the way Shane Mosley gave an opportunity to Winky Wright years ago. Wright was Andrade before Andrade. Okay. My take on that is I do agree that Demetrius Andrade is one of the most underappreciated, underrated boxers in the sport. I do agree that he's a phenomenal talent. I also agree that, guys aren't lining up trying to fight Demetrius Andrade in 2020 or 2019 even. Of course, 2020, we got a lot going on that's basically just Corona. There's not much going on in the sport of boxing or any sport right now. But that said, Demetrius Andrade definitely, in my opinion, has the tools to compete with anyone in the middleweight division, any top-level fighter. Now, does that mean that I believe these guys are ducking him or don't want to get in the ring with him? I don't think there's a long list of guys who actually want to fight him. Not unless they can get a king's ransom. I do truly believe Demetrius Andrade is viewed as a high-risk, low-reward fighter, much like Erislandy Lara. I don't think you have to go back as far as Winky Wright to see guys who are treated the way Demetrius Andrade is and perceived the way he is by fans and other fighters alike. I think the same could have been said for guys like Guillermo Rigondeaux. The same thing could be said for Lara, of course. Same thing could be said even before he was basically overhyped. The same could have been said for Triple G when guys kept winning, guys kept being the middleweight champion other than him, but they were sidestepping him, didn't want to fight him. But that was only a certain type of fighter. Then when it got to the guys that really wanted to fight Triple G, then we saw a different thing. But I'm not going to get all into that. But like I said, I just want to sum it all up, just say, I do think Fat Dan made some good comments and some remarks. Some of the stuff I didn't agree with, some I did. But overall, I think that's a nice little piece on Andrade and him being overrated. Not overrated, underrated and underappreciated. And I know there are some people who think he's overrated. Myself, not one of them. I think Demetrius Andrade is as advertised when it comes to his skill set. I think his Olympic pedigree, his amateur background, has given him an opportunity to see all different types of styles. And I just don't think there's anything in the middleweight division or around the middleweight division that he hasn't seen before in terms of styles that these fighters can present. That doesn't mean he beats all of them. That doesn't mean he dominates all of them. That just means that I don't think they're going to show him anything he hasn't seen. That said, the fights still have to be made. But I will say that at this point, I'm not sure that Andrade is the one holding up the opportunity for these fights to happen. I think these guys genuinely have no interest in fighting Demetrius Andrade. But that's all I got to say on the subject right now. D-Lo404 Boxing. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I'm out.